Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rantz Playboy Marty. Hope everybody's having a great one out there. This is day 2 of the college football apocalypse, Marty. It's incredible. A week ago, we were all pumped up talking about LSU football.
Friday.
Football, who they're playing. Hey, they got Missouri. They got Vanderbilt. Here we are now, and there may not be football beyond this week, at least if you believe the reports we're hearing coming from some of the national media.
Yeah, seems to be there are flies falling, but it's just, the suddenness is just so bizarre because Friday we were talking about the schedule and how cool it was. Like, LSU's got a seat at the table now, and they protected us as contenders, and we got Mizzou and Vandy and all that. And then Sunday, it looked like, oh, it's over. There's been a little more positive news. Like Scott Woodward had a positive statement. Sankey had a semi-positive statement yesterday. He actually went on Dan Patrick today and said, certainly we could. We're still trying. Like on Sunday, you would have thought there was no chance, but we're still here. So it seems like they're still trying, but nothing looks good. I'm not going to sit here and say it looks good.
You know, it's funny. In the last 24 hours, we saw President Trump tweet his support for, college football, let them play. We want to play. We're seeing all the hashtags because now you're getting players from all around the country that are frustrated, angry. It's looking like it hasn't been 100% official, but we're getting reports from the Big Ten that they're going to shut down everything for the fall. Supposedly an alleged 12-2 vote in favor of shutting down football fall sports, not just football,
right.
Was what was voted on. So we're leaked out that Nebraska and Iowa were in favor of playing. All the other schools in the conference, including Michigan, Michigan State, and others, are in favor of not playing. So with that said, it looks like that domino's fallen. We expect the Pac-12 domino to fall. We know they've been having trouble with their own players and getting things going on the West Coast, mainly California. So if those two big super conferences don't play, the next domino or alleged domino is that ACC, Big 12 are wavering. They've got some schools want to play, some schools don't. And then, of course, the SEC at this moment looks like they're staying strong, trying to get everything done. That's the 5 power conferences. But now we're seeing all these players from around the country saying, hey, man, we may run to the SEC. We want to play.
Yeah, I don't know what that process is going to look like. Like, I can't really picture Nebraska in the SEC. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's all really crazy. Like I can't believe we're here after where we were Friday. That's really like all I can say about this. And I think Coach O went on off the bench this morning, and he was still, talking like we're going to play football. So I'm trying my best to see the good parts in all this because I don't know. My biggest takeaway is that this is happening because of the way the NCAA makes decisions and is structured is so messed up. Like the NFL's, this isn't happening. There's probably not going to be fans, but we're certainly not at, are we going to let them play talk? So I just think the NCAA stinks and they need to wake up.
Well, the problem is that, the NCAA really doesn't control college football. They control the other sports. They don't have any say when it comes to college football. The championship structure, the bowl structure, everything is controlled either by the conferences or through the playoff committee. And so because of that, the NCAA really doesn't have any say on this. They have say on women's volleyball. They've got say on basketball, baseball. They just don't have any say on football. You got over 20 different conferences in the country. They all have different financial packages. They all have different structures. They all have different leadership. They're in different regions of the country that are affected differently. So it really is almost a conference by conference decision. But the thing that I'm going to be curious to see, Playboy Marty, is that what if, let's throw out this scenario, Nebraska and Iowa say, we want to play. Their conference says, we're shutting everything down. Could they be rogue? Could they go make a schedule? Could they say, we'll take a few teams from these conferences that don't want to, that are shut down, but they have teams that want to play and piecemeal something together? Would their conference hold it against them? Those are questions I don't know, but those are questions we're going to find out because it looks like there are some schools that are hell-bent on playing, and there's others that just, we're going to sit this one out.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Just the mass like trying to put a schedule together. Like I don't know. That sounds like just a lot of work to put together in a short amount of time. And I know what you mean about the conferences. You're obviously right. I didn't mean like the NCAA has made a specific decision here. I just think the decisions the NCAA has made, in the last 50 years have like led to their big problems here.
I just don't understand what the big rush to make a call is on this.
Yeah, that's still the weirdest thing.
Yesterday was August the 10th. What's the SEC, for example, they don't even play till September 26th. That's a month and a half from now. I just don't understand because, look, I'd love to figure it out. I want to know, is it saving them money? I mean, you got to play the coaches. You got to put the kids in school. The players are going to get scholarship, room, board. You got staff that are getting paid. So other than the travel expense, buses, planes, hotel rooms, meals on the road for the 5 road games that LSU's going to play, you've got your regular expenses. So why not move forward? And then if all of a sudden the week before the first game there's a big outbreak and you can't play somebody, then so be it.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. And I was taking your advice yesterday and trying to follow the money, and I really can't. I mean, the Big Ten has always had that academic elitism going against the SEC, especially like when we were winning every single national championship and they're like a plant could get into those schools. But like it still seems weird that they would put that over cash. So I'm still baffled by it, as baffled as you are.
Well, you talk about the Big Ten, and they're the first domino to fall. I mean, obviously many more will. We know the the MAC conference, Mid-Athletic Conference, they were the first ones to be a Division I school to say we're not playing this fall. We're going to bring in a special guest here on Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LeBear's Casino. Baton Rouge's own, Parkview Baptist's own, and a former state champion football player over for the Eagles under Kenny Guillotte. Ended up at Michigan and became a fan favorite up there. Let's bring in Drew Dileo, who joins us. What's up, Drew? How are you, buddy?
Oh, he's connected. We're connected now.
Drew, how's it going, buddy?
What's up, Ronnie?
Playboy Marty with you. Like the setup, rocking the Michigan polo, but still got some love for Kevin Falk, who was over your shoulder. He was one of my favorite players ever, man.
Absolute legend.
See if you can turn your volume up just a little bit there, Drew, for us. But I just want to get your reaction. Everybody's kind of banging on the Big Ten right now. For whatever reason, they decided they wanted to be first, a month ago to say, that they were, having restrictions and things, and they were going to play conference games only. Now they're it looks like alleged to be the first to say we're not even going to play at all in any sport this fall. What's going on with your guys?
It's a different culture up there, Ronnie. Come on, it's the Midwest, man. Here's what I mean. When I was 9 years old, my dad and I were sitting in Tiger Stadium in the northeast end zone, and a grown man was throwing up in a backpack. You don't have the same mentality about college football in the Midwest. I'm sorry, it's just different.
And that's surprising coming from yourself. I mean, obviously, when we think Big Ten football, you go to Michigan and Ohio State. That's the first 2 teams you think about. You've played in front of over 100,000 many times in your days back then. So we just assume that they feel the same way about football that the SEC feels.
I think they do, and I'm not. I'm a Michigan grad. I'm not trying to trash talk, but it's just, Ronnie. When I played, I was on team 134. They're in the 140 team mark now. That's 140 years of college football. A lot of tradition, but also a lot of prestigiousness. And with the prestigiousness comes the, careful tiptoe around what's going on in the world. Just different mentality.
Yeah, no, we cited for the Big Ten being one of the first to back out is we were trying to come up with reasons, like trying to follow money, see what it is. And the only thing I can come up with is the academic elitism thing. And do you think there's any do you think that's legitimate at all?
Absolutely. You can ask my parents. I mean, after a noon kickoff, walking back into the dorm my freshman year, the amount of kids walking into the library or the area in the dorm with their backpack on is, I mean, I'm not just saying that. It is absolutely true. Absolutely.
I didn't even know that the LSU library was open on game day. Matter of fact, it may not have been.
Yeah, I have no idea. It may not be. I couldn't tell you.
I didn't know the library was open during the weekend most of the time period. But So what do you? Let me throw this out. Right now, we're hearing reports that Iowa and Nebraska were the only two, states or schools to say we want to play this fall, or at least we don't want to pull the plug right now. 12-2 the vote. That's what's being reported by the national media, and of course, we expect to hear something today, tomorrow, for officially from the Big Ten. Could there potentially, because this is a whole new world with this COVID thing, and the fact that you got players out there now that are kind of rallying together, almost like a union. They're trying to rally together to force the hand. Could there be a Nebraska and Iowa that goes rogue and says, you know what, this year we're going to make our own schedule?
I would like to see it. I think there's a lot of facts. I was watching Greg McElroy and those guys talk on ESPN yesterday about there needs to be a central leader and all that with the NCAA. I think that if the players could step up and get their point across. Nick Saban said the guys are safer in their building than they are going back home. So I don't think the game of football is going to necessarily make this thing worse. So yeah, I would love to see it. I hope that it was able to get done. If Michigan wants to, call it quits for the fall, then I'd love to watch Nebraska go play, Oklahoma or somewhere. Go see Alabama, something like that. I think that would be awesome.
I still think of Nebraska as Big 12. Still.
What's that?
I still think of Nebraska as Big 12.
Yeah, I do too. We beat Nebraska. We beat the heck out of Nebraska the first year there in the Big Ten, and I can just remember our student section with signs saying, "Thanks for joining the Big Ten."
Yeah. Y'all locked down. They had Roy Halou at the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Taylor Martinez, I think, was quarterback.
Oh, that's right.
2010 to 2013, you were at Michigan. You had a couple different head coaches. Give me your take on Jim Harbaugh, man. Like 4 or 5 years ago, the hottest commodity in sports, whether it was NFL, college, it didn't matter. Everybody wanted him. Became the highest paid coach in college football when he first got to Michigan. But gets banged a lot because he hasn't beaten Ohio State. Beats everybody else. Hasn't beaten Ohio State. What's your takeaway on him?
I don't know the guy. I've met his son in the airport after one of the games traveling to recruit. Really liked him. I think he's kind of a quirky guy. I think he loves the guys that are in his inner circle, and if you're not in that inner circle, he could care less about you. It's a shame that every Michigan coach gets put on a pedestal as far as your record against Ohio State, because if you just look at the guys that they've brought in and put in the league in the last few years, been very successful with that. But my dad and I and my fiance were at the Ohio State game last year, and it was kind of embarrassing. The stadium, the big house is red and white, scarlet and gray in the fourth quarter. Just from a Michigan alum, yeah, it sucks. I think he's kind of quirky. I think he's kind of odd.
Do you have a pair of khakis? And being that you're a State Farm agent, I mean, it's got to be what you do, right? I mean,
I've never worn the red polo with the khaki combo in 5.5 years of State Farm history. So.
Impressive.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, you were involved in one of the more interesting quarterback competitions of the past, I don't want to say decade, but of that era. Denard Robinson and Devin Gardner. You must have caught passes from both of them in practice. So what was that like? Because Denard was so well liked and so nationally known. Take me through that.
Yeah, Devin was your more natural quarterback. Right. He was, I think, the number one dual threat kid coming out of high school. Denard Robinson was just one of the most electric players that I've ever been around. Mm-hmm. Whenever you see guys run a 4.2, 4.3, the guy ran a 4.2, 4.3. He could absolutely fly with his shoes untied.
Right.
He wasn't your guy that really was going to excel dropping back in the pocket, but he could make things happen. So from a receiver standpoint, we were running scramble drills all day long. He was going to find somebody up or he was going to house it. Denard is just the all-American human being, a great guy. One of the guys that could not live on campus because of the popularity that he got.
Right.
Wow.
And he still was extremely humble, extremely nice. Devin Gardner, not so much. Devin Gardner had the tools, never really had the work ethic behind it. I think that's kind of why you saw Denard, really started over him all of his years there until he got hurt his senior year or junior year.
Yeah.
I would much rather Denard Robinson shoelace behind the center if I'm lining up than I would DG.
Interesting.
I see you rocking that Parkview Baptist helmet over your shoulder, a proud dual state champion. Did you win a state championship in football when you were there and baseball?
I won 2 baseball and 1 football. We lost to DJ Welter in Notre Dame my senior year in the Dome.
Sure. How is it that a guy who played for Kenny Guillotte, a legendary figure who's known for the veer, I mean, that's what y'all did. How did you catch over 70 passes one year? What did you do?
I had a good quarterback. Our quarterback, Brady Wilson, who you met recently on the links.
He can hit it far, too.
Brady is one of the best all-around athletes, great basketball guy, great baseball guy. Brady and I grew up together since we were 5 or 6. So, we had my sophomore year, we had an average line that averaged 260, Brant Lejeune running the ball. So, we could pound and ground. My junior, senior year, Brady could throw it a little bit. So there was obviously some mismatches on the, in the 5 to 10 yard range against backers and safety. So I think our coaching staff, Coach Scott Dietrich, just felt more comfortable being able to air it out.
Pretty good. I mean, over 70 catches at Parkview, especially back then. That's insane.
Yeah.
So one final thing, what your thoughts in general on this college football season? I know we're playing Nostradamus a little bit right now. We're still over a month away, but will there be big-time college football in your opinion? Will there be some conferences that go rogue and go against the grain, and even though everybody else is shutting down, still play?
I hope so, Ronnie. I really do. Not to get into the politics of it all, but I think the country needs football this fall. I really think that we need some action. Whether there's fans or not, you can sit at home and watch it. For the sake of these players, I can't imagine the mentality that they have right now. I hope so. If I had to say yes or no, I guess I would lean towards yes, just because I want to be positive. Does that mean that every big-time school is going to be playing? I don't think so. But I think that your football powerhouses are hopefully going to come together and try to get some games on Saturdays.
All right, buddy. Drew, thanks so much for taking some time to join us. Go check out Drew Dileo, State Farm Insurance over there on O'Neill?
By Squeaky Morena, over here by City Cafe.
By City Cafe, that's right. All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Have a good one.
All right, Drew Dileo right there. I tell you what, Playboy Marty, that's going to be the topic of the day. We're all kind of just waiting for the shoe to drop. We expect, rumors came out yesterday. We expect today to probably hear at least one conference, and we expect the Big Ten to be the one to say we're out.
Yeah, no, I mean it's gonna dominate the entire news cycle, especially down here, especially on our station in general. I'm gonna try to bully Hanny and Hester to do a couple NBA segments, talk about my sons.
Well, let me give you 30 seconds on NBA. People in Louisiana don't care now. Pelicans are out. Zion can get back on the treadmill and drop some tonnage. But your Phoenix Suns still undefeated in the bubble.
6-0, and the annoying thing is that we could realistically go 8-0 and not even make the play-in game. We need we definitely need to win our two remaining games. We definitely need to go 8-0.
That would be unbelievable.
And we need Memphis to lose twice or Portland to lose once. But the annoying thing is, we thought that the NBA was like doing Memphis like sort of dirt, and I mean they had a backloaded schedule in general, so like I wasn't really like upset that they gave them like Boston and Milwaukee at the very end. But now they're probably resting all their guys, so like it's actually an advantage to be playing like the elite teams. So I don't think Memphis is going to lose both. We need Dallas to beat Portland tonight.
All right. Well, we'll be pulling for you. Dust out those KJ, Dan Marley, Charles Barkley jerseys from
Cedric Sabalos.
Cedric Sabalos. You talk about a good number 3, 4 guy. I mean, crash the boards, athletic.
Yeah, really quick.
He had about 3-4 years in the mid-'90s where he was really good. Really good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Sports Shorts Daily. Have a great one.
Thanks.
He's Marty.